Hi, Peter Baker here from VoiceOver Masterclass. As I'm sure you'll appreciate, the voiceover world is changing fast, and we voice artists have to change as well to maintain our income. Now, don't worry, AI won't take all our work away. Don't sell that booth and microphone yet. VoiceOver Masterclass will continue to serve you and train you with various courses and information and support. In fact, if you perform mostly character and voice acting work or TV and radio commercials, especially the high-end ones, the AI cloned voice platforms will hardly affect you at all. It's general narration that will suffer the most, as for most clients who need simple text-to-speech work in a voice style that has minimal emotions and emphasis words needed, choosing an AI voice over a human one makes absolute sense. An AI voice takes, minutes to create and download it, cheaper as well. Also, for international training programs for your big companies, students could click on an accent or voice sex of their choice, etc., etc. So, what we have to do now is to get our voices cloned on as many ethical platforms as possible on a non-exclusive basis. Now, if a platform wants you as exclusive, then of course you'll need to charge much more. Royalties you'll get each month from these platforms look tiny at first, but with volume they all add up. And the estimated 25% of work you may lose to AI can be more than compensated by royalties from your cloned voices. And what's more, you can create different AI voice clones for different voice styles, such as your classic documentary narrator voice. For documentaries, you can have a warm audiobook storyteller voice for audiobooks, corporate trainer voice for training videos, calm meditation voice for wellness apps, friendly assistant voice for AI agents. And this is what I've done. You can send links to existing clients who have sent you in the past long-form projects, such as huge training scripts or long audiobooks. Now, they can have the choice of either paying more money and have you spend the time to do it the old-fashioned way, or use your cloned voice, and you get royalties and you don't need to do any work at all. In the time you save, you can use in marketing to get more higher-paid human voiceover work. Yeah? Win-win. In fact, for me, I've offloaded jobs I really hated, such as, say, recording audio versions of very long and tedious insurance company and bank terms and conditions blurb. Those jobs fried my mind, Paragraph 3, subsection 8 states that, and so on. Now my AI clone voice can do all the hard work, and I still get a royalty. Look, the biggest speech markets today are audiobooks, YouTube, narrations, corporate training, gaming dialogue, AI assistants. These sectors generate millions of minutes of audio per month, and the longer the script, the more royalty you get from your cloned voice. So, once you get accepted by an AI platform, what should you do to make sure that technically they'll accept your data sets? And there's a buzzword there, a data set. It's not a recording, it's not a file, they call them data sets. So here are my top 10 tips. 10 recording mistakes that can ruin AI voice clones. And even professional studios outside sometimes produce data sets that train poor quality models. They get thrown back. So don't let all your hard work get thrown back in your face. First of all, inconsistent microphone distance. You see, if the narrator moves towards or away from the mic and doing all this stuff all the time, the model learns multiple timbre of the same voice. Because as you know, you've got proximity effect, yeah? So you get unstable tone, you get the kind of phasey AI speech, which they don't like. So basically, you've got to keep the same distance, usually 6 to 8 inches, throughout the entire data set. Secondly, recording multiple sessions with different mic setups doesn't work. If some recordings use different microphones, different preamps, EQ settings, well, don't do that anyway, should be all flat. The AI model learns 2 or 3 different voices. So how to fix it? Record the entire data set using identical hardware and gain levels. 3, excessive compression, EQ. Many voice actors instinctively polish their recordings, as I do to many of my people. They just want it sounding good at their end, and they don't want to muck about with it. So I give them a bit of multi-band compression, and that's absolutely fine. If I've got a bit of a cold, a little bit of tweaky EQ, right? But don't do it. This harms all the training of the AI, because the AI learns processed audio rather than the natural voice. So just record clean, flat audio, and the fellas and ladies at the other end can do their bit so that the AI model can learn it properly, and they can add compression at their end. As you know, you can't take it away. So avoid compression, avoid EQ, do not DS, do not add noise reduction. 4, room reflections. If you haven't got a booth, just be really careful. Mild reflections can confuse speech models, and you get a kind of metallic or a kind of hollow AI voice result. So use your acoustic panels, bass straps, or ideally a proper professional booth. And if you haven't got one, it may be even worth your while to hire an outside studio to do your data set. 5, background noise. Noise floors above, say, minus 55, 60 can degrade training data. So if you've got computer fans, street noise, HVAC systems, just fix it. You've got to aim for minus 60 dB noise floor or lower, which has been the ACX standard for ages, as you'll know. 6, if you try to read too theatrically, darling, some actors perform too dramatically during data set recording, and this causes exaggerated patterns of rhythm and sound, stress and intonation, and you get unnatural cadence in the final AI voice. So speak in your neutral conversational tone. That's normally what you're told to do by these AI companies, unless you really are intending to clone a character voice. And keep the same voice style throughout your whole data set. And if you're doing 2 hours or 5 hours of stuff, I suggest you do the whole data set in one session with a large coffee in front of you. That way, hopefully you won't waver. 7, inconsistent speaking speed. Again, if the narrator alternates between slow and fast delivery, the AI model will produce all sorts of erratic pacing and know not what to do. So just maintain your consistent pace. 8, mouth noises. Yeah, mouth noises and clicks. Lip smacks or saliva sounds get embedded in the model, and it doesn't know what to do. So if you go through it all, which you should do as a professional, make sure you get rid of the clicks in the generated speech. So hydrate yourself. Apple slices work for some people. And in your editing, light editing. In Adobe Audition, there is an automatic click remover, but please use it with caution. You may also delete some important syllables using the auto thing, especially if you put it over the whole file. 9, incomplete phonetic coverage. This is interesting. If they've given you a script and it doesn't include, say, technical terms or some mathematical terms or something like that, you need to tell them that, because especially if you think your voice is going to be used by someone with a tech thing, the AI will struggle with the pronunciation. So technical terms, numbers, acronyms, a good data set should have you saying at least the numbers from 1 to 50. But it's up to them. You may actually want to keep quiet, and then they pay you extra to do it again in the future, if it's one of those deals. There are all sorts of different deals out there, some of which you pay for, some of which they pay you. It's a lot of stuff going out there. It's still a bit like the Wild West. As long as you get paid at the end of the day for your work, whether it's recording up front or recording per script, as is the old way of doing it, then that's fine. And I think the most important tip of all, the transcript. Basically, you are given a script. You have got to read it exactly as it has been given to you, because poor transcript alignment will mess it up. Each recorded sentence must match its exact transcript. If there's a comma in the script, you pause. You don't add pauses where there's none stated in the script you've given. If you run out of breath, do it again, fix it in edit afterwards. Leave a gap so you can see where it is. You definitely do not ad-lib. If there's a contraction in the script, such as it's, say it's, not it is, and so on, thinking you'll be clearer. If transcripts are wrong, the model learns incorrect pronunciation. Look, I hope all this is useful, and if you'd like to get more training on all things voiceover, whether you're starting out or if you're a professional and been doing it for years and now scared about AI taking your job, look, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll hold your hand. You can find my courses at voiceovermasterclass.com or join my free Skool voiceover masterclass community. The links are on screen now. Look, I've got to go. But have a great day. I hope that's useful.